You ever have one of those moments where your cat just knows something's off? Like, someone walks into your home, maybe a new friend, your cousin's weird boyfriend, the guy from work who insists on calling everyone boss, and suddenly your sweet, sleepy cat turns into a suspicious, glaring loaf of fur, watching that person like they just walked out of a villain's lair. You try to brush it off, maybe laugh it away like, "Oh, she's just shy." But deep down you're thinking, "Wait, what does she know that I don't?" That, my friend, is the age-old question. Can cats sense bad people? And today, we're diving into that whisker-tingling mystery with claws, charm, and maybe a few spooky vibes. Because the truth is, we've all wondered if our cats are secretly smarter than us when it comes to spotting red flags. Now, first off, let's just acknowledge that cats are incredibly sensitive creatures. I mean, they have whiskers that can detect changes in air pressure. They can hear a can of tuna opening from 3 rooms away. They can smell fear, literally, and they don't hesitate to tell you when something feels off. Cats are walking, purring emotion detectors. While science hasn't stamped a big shiny yes on, cats can sniff out evil. It does agree on this. Cats are masters of observation. They read body language, sense energy shifts, and respond to changes in tone, facial expressions, and even scent. So when your cat starts acting like your guest just brought a ghost into the living room, it's probably not random. Maybe that person is nervous, angry, tense, or just smells funny. Cats can detect cortisol and adrenaline, stress hormones, in human sweat. Someone walks in after road rage screaming at Siri. Your cat's like, "No, get out of my house." And honestly, same. But it's not just about bad moods. Cats notice patterns. They remember people who were gentle, and they sure as heck remember people who stepped on their tails 6 months ago. They're not just alert to the present moment, they hold grudges like old school villains. If someone consistently acts in a way that feels unpredictable, erratic, or fake, a cat may pick up on those vibes long before you do. And the wild part? They'll tell you. Loudly, dramatically, sometimes with hisses, sometimes with "YOL, I'm gonna pee in your shoe" protest. And let's not forget the stare. You know the one. That long, unblinking gaze of judgment, like they've watched this person commit a crime in a past life. It's equal parts unnerving and fascinating. But is it truly supernatural? Well, let's take a little detour into the mystical. Because for centuries, literally thousands of years, people have believed cats possess otherworldly senses. In ancient Egypt, cats were sacred. They were protectors, guardians, revered as beings that could ward off evil spirits. Fast forward to medieval Europe, and cats were seen as witches' familiars, spiritual companions who could detect untrustworthy souls. In Japanese folklore, there are tales of shape-shifting cat spirits who expose liars and protect good people. And even today, some believe cats can see spirits, detect auras, or act as fuzzy little guardians of your home's energy. Whether or not you believe in that kind of stuff, it's hard to ignore the universal consistency in these legends. People across the world and across centuries all came to the same conclusion. Cats just know things. But let's bring it back to reality for a second. Are cats really detecting evil, or are they just reacting to weird energy? Most of the time, it's probably the latter. Maybe your guest is anxious. Maybe they're lying about something. Maybe their vibe is just off. Cats aren't moral philosophers. They're not sitting there pondering your guest's sins. But they are noticing if that person is giving off tension, uncertainty, or erratic energy. And if your cat bolts under the couch every time they come over, that might be something worth paying attention to. It's like a little furry lie detector with whiskers and zero tolerance for BS. And if you're still skeptical, let me hit you with a few real-life stories. A woman shared online that her cat always hissed at her boyfriend every single time from day one. Everyone thought the cat was just being dramatic. But months later, she found out the guy had been cheating the whole time. Another story? A family's cat would vanish every time one specific neighbor came over. They thought it was just a coincidence, until that neighbor was arrested for theft and harassment. Or the babysitter one. A couple hired someone to watch their toddler. Sweet girl, great references. But their cat? Hated her. Would stand in the hallway and block her from entering the nursery. Later, a hidden camera caught the sitter yelling at the child when the parents were gone. Coincidence? Maybe. But when enough people say, "My cat knew before I did," you start to wonder if there's a little more going on behind those almond-shaped eyes. Of course, we have to be fair. Not every cat dislike means someone is evil. Sometimes cats are just picky. Maybe the person smells weird, wears loud shoes, or dare to look the cat directly in the eyes. Maybe they're too enthusiastic or move too fast. Cats are creatures of comfort and change, especially sudden, loud, or energetic change, is not their thing. But if your cat is fine with 19 people and only loses their mind over that one guy who sells essential oils and doesn't blink when he talks, then yeah, trust the cat. So how can you tell the difference between your cat being dramatic and your cat sending a red alert? Look for consistency. If your cat consistently reacts negatively to the same person, hides from them, puffs up, hisses, or avoids them even after repeated visits, it might be time to trust their instincts. Especially if your cat is otherwise social, calm, or confident. Also, trust your own gut. Cats may be sensitive, but you have instincts too. If your cat and your own weird feeling are lining up like, oh, don't ignore that. Your cat's not always right, but they're right a suspicious amount of the time. So, should you break up with someone just because your cat doesn't like them? Okay, maybe not immediately. But should you pay attention? Absolutely. Because while we humans are busy overthinking, second-guessing, and making excuses, your cat's already made up their mind. And they're usually not wrong. They don't deal with peer pressure, or politeness, or social rules. They just react to what they feel. And sometimes, what they feel is, this human is not it. At the end of the day, cats aren't magical lie detectors or psychic warriors, but they are incredibly attuned to emotional shifts, subtle behaviors, and energy dynamics. They're experts at watching from the sidelines and saying, something's not right here. Whether it's someone lying, someone stressed, or someone who just gives off major, "I forgot to tip the waiter" energy, your cat notices, and they won't hesitate to react. So the next time your cat glares at someone, gives a low growl, or straight up exits the room like a diva avoiding drama, don't laugh it off too quickly. Maybe they're being dramatic, or maybe they're warning you before your heart or your credit score gets hurt. One thing's for sure, cats may not speak our language, but they communicate loud and clear when something feels off. And if you're lucky enough to have one of these judgmental little fluff balls in your life, you do well to listen when they speak up. They might just be trying to protect you from the wrong kind of human. After all, they don't call them catty for nothing.